Hey everybody, this is Muffin with the Daily Biker Podcast. Just here to let y'all know the opinions and ideas expressed in this show are those of the hosts and their guests, not to be confused with their partners and sponsors. Now, let's get it on.
Hey guys, this is Sean from the Bikes and Beards YouTube channel, and you guys are listening to the Daily Biker Podcast. You're gonna love it.
Keep going.
A whole thing. So my initial day starting the competition was you wake up, the bus is going to be downstairs at 7:45. I will say that my confidence was like really, really high that morning. I hyped myself up. I had like the right music playing all morning, and I got ready and I recorded a couple of videos to send to the home front, like, hey y'all, about to head in. And went downstairs, got to meet everybody, and after I met everybody, the confidence went from like 110 to like 75. Because I was like, oh, all of these people have been doing this, you know, I've been in my dealership for 13 years, and I've been doing this since, 2008. Now they're talking about things that I was still in middle school when these things were happening.
And you're still better than them.
Yes. And I was still there, which was really awesome to be able to do that at my age. But the confidence level, I was like, we'll see. All right, we're just going to go in and do my best. That's all I can do. And then we get on the bus, and the guy from Moonshine, his name's Fox, he was like, so you're Scottie. And I was like, no. I said, well, what does that mean? And he was like, every single Pan America Facebook page that I have been on is like, Scottie's going to Battle of the Bricks. Everybody, this is what Scottie's doing. Scottie from White Lightning Harley. And I'm like, oh, didn't realize how many people that reached. Yes, that's
all of the people.
All of the people.
All of the people. And so that was great. And then we got to Juneau Ave, and that was awesome. Because that's like where it all started. That's where the shed was. And it was just sick. You walk in, you take a left, there's a bunch of engines on the wall, and they're kind of cut in half so you can see the mechanics and how it works, and there's a bunch of beautiful motorcycles. They kind of take us to the end of the hallway. They have us sign some things that's pretty much like anything that's recorded today is going to be shared with the world. And they give us a cute little lanyard, and they send us up in an elevator. And they had snacks, and they had coffee and water. And I was like, man, I would love some of these snacks if I didn't feel like I was about to yak right now.
Right?
Adele was there, and she's like third in the company. So she's very high up, and she gives a little speech. Harley is really good at making it not feel like a competition. They were very adamant on this is a celebration of your accomplishments and of you guys working so hard. And
but remember, you're competing.
Making it here, but also don't talk to each other after you go up there because this is a competition and we want to make it fair. Help yourself to water and coffee. See y'all in a little bit.
Here's your boxing gloves. Ding, 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 ding.
But so we were on the floor that they do all of the tech training on. So we had a couple of different rooms where if you needed a breather, if you just needed to get away from people and kind of rehearse a little bit, you had several options to do that.
That's good.
So that was great. And we went, kind of walked around. They gave us a little pep talk, I guess you would say. They kind of just went over the rules. We were the guinea pigs. This is the first time they'd ever done anything like this. So they were like, we know what we're doing just as well as you do. If you have any questions, I'm going to go up and ask the judges. We'll see if it checks. And we're like, word. So we were like,
we don't know what's going on.
Yeah, they were like,
we're
we're just going to play it by ear. We've got most of it set up. That's
we're just going to feel the room.
Yeah. So they were like, we have test rides set up. We have a surprise for you guys. So while you're waiting to go on or after you've gone on, if you want to go on a test ride through downtown Milwaukee, that is already ready for you. We have helmets, jackets, all that fun stuff. And there's a couple rooms where you can practice. And then we asked a couple questions like, how do we keep time? Because they told us, you're not going to get a signal on when you're halfway. You're not going to get any clocks in the room. How you decide to gauge that is up to you. And I had this master plan that all went out the window because my heart rate...
Were you with a motorcycle?
I was with a motorcycle.
What you should have done when you first got there is turned it on, looked at the clock, and turned the bike back off.
Angel Sedano from Glendale Harley, he was like, yeah, I just turned the bike on and checked the time. And I was like, dude, that was so smart. So smart. Why did I do that? I was literally wearing my Apple Watch. And my Apple Watch did let me know, out of all the things, it didn't, I didn't remember to check the time, but it did let me know that my heart rate was at 156 while I was up there presenting.
Nice.
Should have just left the bike on, waited for the battery to die. Like, all right, there we go.
there's
12 minutes.
There's
That's
time.
what it is.
Then the next contestant couldn't.
Look, it is a competition.
I didn't do it. But I was the last one to go. So I was at the very end of the evening, so I was between a point of I have plenty of time to prepare, but I also have time to over-prepare. And I don't want to do that to myself. I don't want to set myself up so much that I get up there and I start just...
So before we get into all that, what did you actually do?
Okay. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Daily Biker Podcast. We had a super long intro, but we will get into the details of that more. My name is Marcus, and I am your clueless leader. Today, we're going to go on a learning journey. Look, she's cracking up laughing right
That
now.
was about 20 minutes right there.
Actually, it wasn't. No, it's been 5. It's been 5. We've had 5-minute intros
It's fine.
before. So today, I do have Miss Muffin with me.
Hey, y'all.
I've got Daniel.
Hey there.
I've got a very special guest. I would love to have her on more podcasts.
Yes.
And before she goes any further in her story, we'll get some information about her. But I've got Scottie.
Hi.
To me, Scottie is Scoots Magoots. She is Scoots Magoots to a lot of people at the dealership. Scottie is one of the youngest employees in the dealership. I think Madison might be the only one younger than
She's
you.
a month younger than me.
So
By a month.
Scottie is, like I said, we'll consider Scottie to be basically like the youngest, with the exception of one other employee that are a month apart in age. At the dealership, Scottie is one of our salespeople or fit specialists at the dealership.
Wait, is that what you call them?
Yes, fit
Yeah,
specialists.
fit specialist.
Because they fit you to the right motorcycle. At White Lightning Harley Davidson. And we are in White Lightning Harley Davidson Mobile Studio, Studio B, Mr. Daniel's office.
Yep.
I'm waiting for... You know what? You need to get your old engine guards and hang them on the wall here.
I have actually
Lord.
thought about doing that.
You need to.
They're probably going to go and get hung up in the garage somewhere.
It wouldn't be that bad. It's okay. Stephanie's murdering people.
Sure,
anyway.
it's fine.
So-
Probably bow laying down.
So
Probably.
I'll start this like this. You know, a lot of people come in and they see Scottie, and they're like, "Yeah, it's a young girl. I got this on her."
Scottie, talk to a man.
Scottie is 20 years old. How long have you been riding motorcycles
I have been riding
on your own?
on my own since I was 16.
Nice.
So Scottie's been riding for 4 years. So those of you listening to the podcast right now that you just recently got your license or you're really into motorcycles or something, this should make you feel bad. Scottie
Makes me feel bad, I'm just
Scottie's
saying.
got a Sportster. You know, she rides it to work every once in a while. She finally started riding it to work because it sat for a little while and the battery died, and everybody kept harassing her about not riding to
I
work.
was endlessly harassed.
It's a good way to start riding again, being harassed.
Being harassed.
So-
See,
Yes.
unfortunately, I can never stop riding because I have to deal with him.
But Scottie does have a black 2003 anniversary edition Sportster. So it's got the little pinstripe on the gas tank,
Nice.
the anniversary
Thank you.
logo.
I like it. I like it.
My choke is zip tied on. It's real classy.
So, but she has started riding it to work. She talked about getting rid of it, but I have mentioned stuff to her about building a cool little like club style sporty. So
Yeah.
I
we
think
can
that's the
change
route
that out
we're going
with
to
the
try and
hose
go.
clamp. Make that choke a little bit fancier.
Wheelie machine.
Ooh.
So, but anyways, yeah. So Scottie is, Scottie's a killer. A lot of people go in to a sales deal with Scottie thinking one thing, and they're all sitting there and they're like, "Oh, Scottie doesn't know," and then they walk out there going, "What just happened?"
I gotcha.
So, she is one of our fantastic salespeople. You know, she will completely walk you through the process and 100% make you feel like family. And when you come back into the dealership, treat you the same way you did when you were buying your bike the first time. So, but that being said, Scottie has done something fantastic at the dealership.
Yes, she has.
At the dealership, we're all super proud of her. There was something. So there's people that listen to this that work for the motor company, apparently, because it was mentioned to Sean when he was in Milwaukee. There's also people that listen to this that I know that work at other dealers because they've reached out to me and stuff before.
Awesome.
So Scottie did the Battle of the Bricks, the Pan America experience, and was in the top 10 and got to go to Milwaukee to present. So that's kind of what we're talking about. So give us a quick rundown of exactly what is Battle of the Bricks before we get too deep into it.
So Battle of the Bricks was something fairly new for the motor company, and it's something that they hope to continue, is what they expressed when I was up there. So they're hoping for it to be a yearly thing.
But not just Pan America.
Not just Pan America. I think they're going to switch it up every year and allow people to grow, because it really does. It makes you expand your knowledge a lot. It makes you work a lot harder, and it's good overall. It was awesome. But so you log on to HDU one day, you're trying to do your training, and this whole banner pops up, and they're like, "Battle of Bricks. We'll send you to Milwaukee. Make these videos and let's see what happens." And so you kind of have to look over these parameters of you record in landscape mode, you're in front of a Pan America, you have a customer named Terry.
Yeah, it's full POV.
Yeah.
Just to clarify.
It's like whoever's recording, whether you put it on some sort of tripod and you just talk to the camera, or you have someone follow you around with a camera, you have to talk to the camera like it is Terry. And Terry has grown up riding dirt bikes, but he no longer rides, and his BFF has talked him into checking out ADV, and he's kind of shopping around, doesn't really know what he wants, and your whole job is to invite Terry into the Harley experience. He sent in a lead, and you're inviting him in, you're taking him on test rides, you're explaining what the Pan America is, what Harley Davidson is, the family experience, the packages we offer, parts, service, motor clothes, sales. It's the whole thing tied up into a couple months. So the first video, it was like 3 minutes long, wasn't it?
No, I think the first one was 2.
Yeah, it's like it couldn't go over 3 minutes.
So the first one was a single video, 2 minutes long. Your second one, I think, was 2 videos.
3 videos. After that, it was 3 videos.
Okay,
each.
3 videos. But
And
at
they
one
were-
point in time, they did lengthen the video, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like you
I
could
think
do it
maybe
like
your second one
over
was
3 minutes.
was 3 2-minute videos,
Yeah.
and then the third round, which was the finals before you go to Milwaukee,
Got it.
was 3-minute videos.
Yes. So every time it got a little bit harder, and the biggest challenge for me, I would say, and something that I learned a lot from, was the final video. Because the final video is you taking the BMW R1200 GS and telling Terry why the Pan America is better without trashing BMW, without it's got to be. And so to learn how to sell that in a competitive setting and be like not mean about it, that was fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing about it. And we talk about that on the podcast. We don't like trashing other brands because we're motorcycle enthusiasts.
Yes.
And we love all kinds of motorcycles.
Yeah, he still talks to me, and I don't own a Harley.
I'm not sure why.
I keep trying to talk you into it. You still haven't fallen for it yet.
But
Look, I bought a motorcycle from you people.
we have, they're not just us. I mean, we've been guilty of it in the past, but there's all kinds of dealers and manufacturers and all that other stuff that have turned a customer away very quickly because they'll go, "Oh, well, I was comparison shopping these 2 motorcycles," and the person immediately starts talking negative about that other bike.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want that negative energy. I'm not going to buy this motorcycle from this individual. We've been fortunate too in the past that's happened, and we've had the opportunity to get that person with somebody else and kind of
to correct that.
to correct and go back and correct that behavior. Because the thing about it is, just like with a podcast, we focus a lot on pushing motorcycle riding and growing the sport.
Don't care what you ride.
Yeah, we don't care
In
what
the
you
grand
ride.
scheme of things, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Wheels.
Yeah.
I was very glad that they chose the BMW, just because if they were to choose anybody, I mean, that's who you got to pick. BMW.
I'd say that.
Game for,
Yeah.
and
I mean, that's the Pan
Over
America's
40
biggest
years.
That's the
competition.
biggest, yeah.
and it was something that made me dig into the history of Harley Davidson, because in order for me to take a bike that's been out for 3 years, and although it is a phenomenal product, I'm putting it up against something that has 20, 30 years
Exactly.
of a customer base and something that they've been able to perfect.
Yeah.
And Harley just happened to do enough research and to create such a fantastic product that it was kind of easy to compare and contrast and be able to be like, hey, Terry, you need this Pan America because it's going to fit your needs and your budget, and it's going to be more learner friendly, and it was
Well, and talking about, some maintenance things and what can happen when you're out riding, potential stuff to go wrong and have to fix and stuff like that. That's not a negative. I sit here with a BMW GS guy and I go, look, I'm not telling you the GS isn't a good bike, but those heads stick out there. You bang a rock with that thing and bust that head open, I'm not dissing that motorcycle. It's a great motorcycle. I know guys that have happened to, and they've had to do crazy fixes on the trail. You don't have to worry about that, though, with the Pan America.
Yeah, or God forbid that shaft break is shaft drive and not chain drive.
Which has happened.
Because, you could totally redneck engineer that chain and limp mode it all the way to the nearest road. It's possible. I mean, it wouldn't be the best option, but it's
if you had a welder with you could fix the shaft drive.
Yeah, you're not fixing a shaft on a trail.
No.
Unless you had a welder.
Unless you had a welder and a
some
spare
people
shaft.
are just really, really prepared.
Some guys are.
Really prepared.
But then again, most people don't like to do chain maintenance. I've seen a lot of rusty
That's true.
chains.
That's true.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
But chain maintenance on the Pan America.
It's fairly easy because it does have a built-in center stand, and it's just...
Does it have an O-link chain?
See, you're asking me specifically.
I thought you would know that.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, it
cut
does.
that
It
out.
does.
We can
Yeah,
cut that out.
Harley's chain is what they consider a maintenance-free chain.
Listen, I've been
Doesn't mean you don't have to do maintenance on it, but basically spray it off to get it clean, and then spray some lubricant on it and roll it.
An O-link chain has oil that's contained inside the links. So different from an older style chain where you did have to lubricate it every 200 miles, 300 miles, 500 miles.
Now we're at 500.
So you can go a little bit longer on a no-link chain versus a standard chain. That's
Nerd. Anyway.
I've got a lot of chains in my garage.
It literally when I was working at the Honda shop,
Chains.
when I was working at the Honda
Leather
shop,
too.
it was just kind of a thing that whenever you cleaned your bike,
Clean the chain.
clean and lube your chain.
Yeah. Just standard maintenance.
Yeah, and you don't honestly have to spray chain lube on the Harley chain. I think a lot of people do, anyways. Just
It's just a habit of
just
the
to,
chain.
well, just to kind of keep it, because you can even with that chain, you can still have some kinking and stuff that go on.
Well, you can wear out sprockets, things like that. It's just better to maintain.
Yeah, so you get picked, top 10.
Top 10.
You and Daddy Sean went to Milwaukee. So I want to start with. We're starting at the beginning.
Start with the day I got the email that I was going.
Okay.
So I was on my yearly family vacation in Gulf Shores, Alabama, the day that I was supposed to find out on whether or not I went. And so, I mean, I'm chomping at the bit, waiting for these days to go by because I'm like, just release it, just tell me if I'm going or not.
It was a little celebration every time she got that email saying going to the next round.
You're next. And it was like, okay. And
So did they give you kind of like we'll announce the winners within this time frame type deal?
So the pre-qualification video, as soon as you submitted that one, you're in. And then the second one was judged and scored. And then the one after that, so then they pretty much just scored everyone after that. And if you didn't complete it or if you didn't make the score limit, then they would lock you out of all of the Pan America stuff.
They wouldn't tell you, they just lock you out?
I'm sure they would tell you, but
you wouldn't know.
I
She
wouldn't
would know.
Yeah. That sounds horrible. But you had to meet a certain score every time, or some people just didn't submit their videos on time, and that's why they didn't make it, because it does get busy at the shop. I did have to make time to do all of this. Because
Yeah, coming in on days off.
Yeah,
and
it's
stuff
like I can't
that.
do
Well,
this
I mean,
when I'm
you
trying
were-
to juggle customers.
Right, yeah.
You were working. I mean,
Yeah.
you were actively working during this period. You couldn't take time to do it, so you had to make the time and put the effort forward to accomplish this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So every time that we did get the confirmation where it's like, okay, that one was good, you're in the next one. And it was like, okay. And so we would get to work on that. And of course, each had deadlines. Each had their own new script of what Terry's doing this time and what we're supposed to be pushing, whether it be show me an experience or why Harley Davidson and things like that. But the day that I got the email, I woke up, I remembered what day it was. Because they were like, we will release the finalists on this day. Woke up, remembered what day it was. I mean, yanked my phone, and I'm like, went into HDU. I'm refreshing it violently, and it popped up, and I'm looking at my videos, and the score underneath them is like 1,500 out of 1,500. And I was like, oh, swipe 1,500 out of 1,500. I'm like, oh, and next one. So I knew I'd made it after seeing the scoring on all three. And I mean, my heart was beating out of my chest. And the announcement pops up, and it's like, congratulations, you were one of the top 10 in the nation. You're a finalist. You're going to Milwaukee. Email us this and this, and we'll get with you with more details. And so I immediately texted Sean, of course. And I was like, guess who's going to Milwaukee?
Hey, Dad, guess what?
Yeah, they did.
And I actually hid it from my family for a whole 24 hours until we got to like a really nice dinner. And then I was like, ding, ding, ding. Guess what, guys? And so they were all really stoked for me. And then it just kind of went from there. We went into planning after I got back from vacation. And then we flew up there after lots of preparing.
Yeah, so let's talk about your initial flight to Milwaukee.
Oh, okay. So Sean had scheduled the flights. And
Well, that was your first mistake.
That was.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sorry, you can make fun of him here. He doesn't listen to us.
Sean doesn't listen
He
to
don't
this
listen.
podcast.
kind of hoping that Darren was just gonna like do us a little flavor and let us use the jet, but he didn't. It's fine. Not salty about it at all.
Would have been dope though.
Not at all.
Sick.
It's like what airline did y'all used to get up here?
Private.
We
Private.
flew private. Why? How'd you get here?
Spirit.
Wow.
Okay, so
We flew Delta.
getting to your flight though.
Yeah. So he tells me that our flight leaves at like 6 a.m. And I'm like,
Okay, what's wrong with that?
Hang on.
Not an early person. We get the night before. I'm a very last minute
Were you
person.
leaving out of Chattanooga?
Yes.
That's the plan. Yep.
Okay.
So I work better under pressure. I'm packing, of course, the night before we leave, and I'm thinking, if I gotta be up at 3:30 in the morning, why even go to sleep?
Right.
There's no
That's
point.
my thinking right there.
Yeah, there's no point.
I've seen the picture on the airplane, by the way.
I hate that he showed that to you. There's something about airplanes, man. They pump melatonin through those.
She's literally like
mouth
Face-
open, hair in the face.
face against the wall, just like drooling asleep.
I sleep so good on airplanes.
So, anyways,
So I get a text from Sean. Now, I had my phone off. I have really bad ADHD, and so I know that a single distraction, I'm not going to get anything done.
Mm-hmm.
So I had my phone on the charger and do not disturb. I finally get everything packed. I pick up my phone. I have like 3 texts from Sean. And he's like, hey, our flight out of Chattanooga to Atlanta got canceled. New plan. Meet at my house no later than 3:50. We're going to drive to Atlanta and meet our connecting flight. And I'm like,
It's 3:45.
Like, what?
yeah, I'm literally looking at the clock and I'm like, it's 12:45 right now. All right, I'm going to shower. I guess I'll just, hang out until then. Drove all the way to Sean's house, which is like on the other end of town. For me, it's like a 30-minute drive.
she lives downtown.
Yeah,
Oh.
and so drove all the way to Atlanta, and thank God we were down past downtown Atlanta and at the airport before downtown Atlanta traffic hit.
Yeah.
Like that morning 8 a.m. work rush traffic. It was still kind of bad, but not nearly as bad as it could have been. Got to the airport, got on the airplane, flew up to Milwaukee. And then when we landed, it was...
Didn't you have a special guest on your airplane?
We did have a special guest on our airplane, actually. We're walking down the little ramp, and I see some long, flowing, luscious hair, and I said, Sean, is that Jesse James Dupree?
Yeah.
And he goes, yes, it is. 2 seats down from us, we're like, hey, man. He's like, oh, what's up? Land,
Wait,
get
he
a
doesn't have a private jet?
No.
Yeah, we go to, we get a cab, go to the hotel that we're staying at. Guess who's there? Jesse James Dupree. The hotel did give us warm cookies, which I did take advantage of. They were free. They were always warm.
Nice.
And they were delicious.
Nice.
Jesse also, apparently he told Sean he packed 4 t-shirts. 3 of those were White Lightning Harley
Oh, really?
t-shirts.
I saw
He
the
was
photo
wearing
of
a White
him.
Lightning Harley t-shirt. I was
White
like,
Lightning
saw him,
t-shirt.
which was awesome. But yeah, we got into Milwaukee at like, I want to say 11 a.m. So we had the whole day to just kind of play in Milwaukee.
Which I guess is when y'all went to the museum.
Yes.
So tell us about the museum.
So that was like a dream come true for me. ever since I was little, I've looked at everything Harley, and it's been in my life and in my family, and I've looked at photos of the museum. It's in every magazine.
Yep.
It's all over the internet, and you're like, that's awesome.
So,
Not for just Harley Davidson enthusiasts, but I mean for any motorcycle enthusiast, really. But when you're really, really passionate about Harleys, it's like literally a kid in a candy store.
Mm-hmm.
It was so awesome. So to be there, and we was within walking distance from our hotel, so we walked down there, and just to see the campus, and of course they're setting up for homecoming. So just to get the feel in the air before that 250,000 motorcycles roll in and everybody starts to party, it was like, wow. Of course, they have the statue at the front, and just kind of see the mothership in person. By the way, that motor cafe has really good food. Poor Sean is lactose intolerant. We were in Wisconsin. He had to ask for everything with no cheese. I ate as
bless
much
his
cheese
heart.
In Wisconsin.
Bless
no
his
cheese.
heart.
I was like, extra cheese.
Extra
They probably
cheese,
looked at him
please.
like crazy, though.
Just
too.
put me under a funnel and just...
Actually, the
Fine.
cheese he doesn't want, just
Just give it to
put
me.
it on my
Yeah.
plate.
It's a
honestly.
nacho fountain.
Nacho
fountain.
I was ready for it. But we went through the museum. I got to learn a lot. I'm a big museum kind of person. I like how quiet they are, and
Yeah.
especially it being all about motorcycles. I was really nerding
Oh,
out
yeah.
in there. I'm all about heritage and history, so to be able to see the things that they have in the archives in person was phenomenal.
Well, I'm sure that really, it's almost like putting a, name to a face. Like, you've read about this type of bike in the past, with Harley's history, that you get to see it there.
Absolutely. I did get to see a Moog Glide. I was probably the most excited about that.
Because you heard me talk about
That
the
is
Moog
my
Glide.
Moog Glide,
favorite
yeah.
motorcycle Harley Davidson.
You heard me talk about the Moog Glide.
Oh, God.
So
love
did
the
you
Moog Glide.
do you understand after seeing the Moog Glide a Softail Deluxe?
I do.
Yeah.
But I
So,
also
a
think
lot-
that they should still bring back the Moog Glide.
We've said that before, too.
I
Yeah.
said that the icon for 2023 should have been the Moog Glide
I was very impressed with the Highway King, though.
because it was but it's 30 years
That's
since
true.
the Moog Glide.
That's true. But I love the Moog Glide.
I do like the Highway King.
The Highway King is dope.
Well, and that's going back to a 1970s.
68 or
68,
69.
I believe.
Yeah.
68.
So,
So the museum, you're seeing bikes that people have only seen if they went to the museum.
Serial number 1.
wow.
So I'd seen pictures of it. I mean, it's a remake because they don't know where it is. But
Is it real?
Yeah. So, but they have serial number 1 is a remake, but it's a remake of one of the original serial numbers, if I'm not mistaken. Like they found one of the 1903 bikes and rebuilt it as serial 1.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's in this beautiful glass casing, and it's got...
But you didn't take it for a ride?
I wish I could. It's literally a bicycle with a motor, but it's just a beautiful one. And on the floor they have lit up, around the bottom of what the case is the parameters of the original shed that it was built in.
Oh, that's
so it's
cool.
very small.
Oh, that is dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
so
really
you can
cool.
see highlighted on the floor, around
And
the case.
isn't it's probably a remake, but isn't
It
the
is a
original
remake.
shed there?
So the original shed was on Juneau Avenue.
Right.
And the rumor is, or what the story that I was told when I was up there is, they were told to bulldoze the lot so that they could start building the factory. And so they said, okay, and then they bulldozed the lot, and it took a couple of days, but by the time that everybody got back and they were looking around the lot, and they said, hey, where'd that shed go? And they were like, you told us to bulldoze the lot. So it was gone. And they were like, where was it again? Was it over here, kind of? But it was gone by that point. So, but they did have photos of it and things like that, so they were able to recreate it, and that is now on campus at the Harley-Davidson Museum, which is really, it's a city within itself.
Oh,
It's
sure.
got riverfront areas, it's got the museum, of course, it's got its own little restaurant, it's got a bar, and then, of course, it's got a sale store where it's you're going to spend money but not as much, and then the museum store, which is just take out your wallet and cut it in half, pretty much.
Pretty
But
much,
I was
yeah.
willing to. I was willing and happy and ready. I was like, please, I want this stuff so
But
bad.
the stuff that's in the museum store, you can't get anywhere else.
Anywhere else. No.
So even if I looked at Chelsea, our motor clothes manager, and I was like, Chelsea, I really want you to order this for me, she'd be like,
She can't.
I can't.
Yeah.
But did you know they've started doing the mobile museum store?
I did not.
So at TMMR,
There was one.
They had a mobile museum store.
Yeah.
So now they didn't have everything, but they did have merch
had-
that you could only get at the museum.
Yeah.
I got a
Interesting.
really cool vintage style racing jersey. So it's
Yeah.
got the black and white
Nice.
striped sleeves. It
Oh,
has
that's
the
cool.
Harley Davidson on the front. That's the one I really wanted, and I got it. So I'm super happy.
See, I've always wanted one of those.
I want one of the sweaters.
My dad got
So,
it. I got that for my dad.
Yeah, a lot of the
Sean or
photos.
your actual dad?
And my actual dad.
So a lot of the photos that you see, obviously they're not in color, so you can't tell. But it looks like they have on like this shirt that has like a zipper.
Yeah.
So it's actually like a wool sweater.
Mm.
And what you also can't tell in the photos is it's actually maroon and cream. Is that the same color, the one you got for your dad?
I got
So
him
they
a
have them
black
in
one.
different colors.
I got him a black one.
So the original one though is like maroon sleeves or something like that, or a maroon body with cream sleeves or something.
They didn't have. Well, they did have that one up there, but I know my dad's color palette. It's a lot of black. It's
Yeah.
not.
Same.
So,
Yeah.
You are
So
Harley
smart.
riders.
So but I think one of my there was a couple of things that really stuck out to me in the museum. One being, of course, the remake of the very first Harley, the engine room. There was a lot more interactive parts of that museum than I anticipated, but the engine room is sick. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
they
my
have-
jaw is on the floor.
What is it? One of every engine that they've ever made
Correct.
on display.
Oh, that's cool.
And
So-
they have screens in front of it where you can click on the engine. It'll tell you a fun fact. You can listen to it. It'll light it up on the wall. It's really fun.
So, and I'm sure you saw bikes there that you were like, I didn't even know this ever existed.
Oh, I ran around that museum taking pictures of everything and just looking back at Sean and being like, Kenny's going to have so much work to do. Like, I want this one, and who can do it? Kenny Reynolds.
But it's like, and I don't know if they had it on display. Like, did they have a lot of the AMF era engines
They
and stuff
did.
on
They
there?
had a whole section on the AMF era.
So, like the Airmaki motors,
Yeah.
They had a
the
snowmobile, a boat.
Yeah.
the 350 and
Chainsaw.
the 350
Golf cart.
and
golf cart,
500
Golf cart.
military bikes that they
Yeah.
did in the late 80s.
Yep.
But then they also made military bikes that were boxer engines, like BMW style engines.
Yep.
I don't know if they had that on display.
But the engine room was one of my favorites. The tank wall.
See, I want to see the tank wall.
The tank
So
wall
bad.
was awesome. Another one of my favorite things was the conservatory. So you get to a point in the museum where you can go up an elevator, and it's one of those really big, they can shove a bunch of motorcycles in it kind of elevators. And you can go up, and it's kind of this caged area where you can only walk so far into it. But they have just racks and racks and racks of motorcycles. And I talked to some of the guys at Juneau Avenue about what that room is and what they use it for. And it's like, do y'all just take them down and take pictures, or, do you just keep them here? And he told me that if I went to the museum now and if I go in 6 months, I'm going to see something different every time, because they even get bored of what they're seeing on the floor every day. So they will switch out bikes so you can see something new every
That's
time
awesome.
that you go.
That's
which is
nice.
awesome.
Yeah.
So, how many motorcycles? Because I don't know the answer to this, but I know there are some. How many motorcycles in that museum are still privately owned? Did they say?
There is no disclosure on that.
So there are motorcycles though that it actually belongs to these people, but it's on loan to be in the
Displayed.
museum
Yeah.
display.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
similar to
Yeah.
like Barber.
Barber, yeah.
Yeah, but they try and own as many as they can, and I'm sure Harley Davidson's probably the
Yeah.
same way, which is different than Wilson Time because he owns all of those.
I just want to be that one ornery person that's like, no, you can't buy it.
So was
would be you,
everything that
yeah.
they had Harley Davidson up there, was it products that they produced and sold, or did they have any of the stuff that, like, okay, for instance, at Wheels Through Time, they have where people took apart Harleys and made plows during the Great Depression because they needed a mechanical plow. Did they have anything like that on
They
display?
didn't have anything like that there, but I will say that there were things that Harley did not produce. But it was not motorcycles. It was more of like the culture aspect of it, the culture around Harley Davidson, and how
Okay.
you got to see
Yeah.
that grow. So they did have sections in the museum that was clothing, pins, medallions, things
yeah.
that people had made,
Okay,
rally.
so
And
talking about the family
Yeah.
and the culture.
Well, I know Sean told me they had a motormade display.
they did have a motormade display. And I was like, oh, Joe Ped's mama was a motormaid.
Aw.
So, out of all the motorcycles that you saw there at the museum, besides number one, the recreation number
Yes.
one, what was the one that stood out the most to you, if you can remember? Obviously, you saw quite a few.
So, of course, I'm there for the Pan America. That was
Yeah.
a big thing for me. And something that did stand out to me, I want to get the specifics on it.
Hang on.
Because me and Sean totally did
Can
nerd out over
Can I
this.
guess?
You can.
Was it the Sportster?
It was not.
Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Well, it technically was a Sportster.
In the
Was it a
dirt,
concept
the one.
for the Bronx.
No, was it the Sportster in the dirt section?
Yes. So
Okay,
it was the
yeah.
1975
Yeah.
SX 250. And it won the Baja 500 off-road race. And it was orange and white.
Do you have a picture?
So
of
it was in the dirt section.
So this is the bike that inspired
Inspired
the very
the
first
Pan
Oh,
Pan
that one.
America.
Yeah,
Oh,
I saw that one.
That's badass.
And that's why
I
Pan
say-
America
say
was
that's
orange
cool.
and white.
So-
It
And
looks like an old Triumph.
So they
it is
did
part
have.
of the AMF era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right down from that, they had a dirtster. They had a Sportster that
Yes.
had lengthened swing arm and like off-road front suspension.
And of course, seeing all of the chopper builds from the Mama Tried rally. That
Mhm.
Oh, see, I would love that
was
too.
good for me.
Yeah.
So, just because I'm a thrashing nerd, was there any thrashing stuff up there?
The logo I saw it a couple times. I
With
didn't-
people that showed up.
with
not
people
at
that
the-
showed up, of course.
Well, no. Thrashing is heavily sponsored with Harley Davidson.
Absolutely.
When
Oh,
Harley
yeah.
when Harley did the release of the Lowrider S and Lowrider ST,
Yeah.
Thrashing was the one that went out and rode them and made the videos. When Harley
Yeah.
did the release of the Pan America, Lance Corey, the guy that owns Thrashing Supply, was one of the people that rode the Pan America in the original release commercial.
Oh, yeah.
So
They did have the whole Mama Tried section was just
I bet
people's customized bikes.
Pan America serial number 1 was
See,
there though, wasn't it?
That's super cool.
Love seeing that. They did have a Pan America on display, but they didn't
So
say that if it was the very first one they ever
I bet you it was.
But I'm sure it was.
I think that's the one thing that has gone through the ages with Harley. It's the culture behind it and the customization that everybody's done throughout the years. That
Yeah.
you see 1960s bikes, you see a certain type of styling and things that people have done. 70s, 80s, 90s, and then now
Yeah.
the performance bagger type stuff. You see all that different type of modification that the culture is doing,
Well,
not the brand.
With the-
They did pay homage to that, and there's a section of the museum that just has, it's almost like a picture wall. So it's these photos that they have backlit, and it's just tiled across an entire wall. And
Did
some
you see
of them,
Marcus's bike up there?
some of them are screens, and it's videos of people playing, of talking about how they got into Harley, how long that they've been riding. But it's, all kinds of photos. People and their dogs, people getting married, their wedding photos in these big, gaudy 80s dresses.
Oh, yeah.
And their big hair. And, they just got married and they're sitting on Harleys. And it's, just to see how long that the culture and the family and the history has been going on, and for them to pay homage to that, I really loved that aspect of it.
So, obviously Harley honoring, their riders, their customers, whatever you want to call them, putting that stuff out there, showing all that stuff. Milwaukee in itself, which is where Harley is, there's a lot of industry that's in Milwaukee. And from what I understand, Sean said it's a very blue collar town.
Yes.
But Sean was telling me a story about one of the bartenders that y'all met.
I believe it's an Uber driver.
Was it that had the Harley tattoo?
It could have been the bar. See, I didn't spend as much time at the bar as Sean did.
So,
reason for
so
that.
Sean,
There's a reason
Sean
for
was
that.
telling me about, this guy he met, and I think he said it was a bartender, that had a Harley tattoo and had some dates in it, and Sean was like, oh, you ride Harleys and stuff? And the guy was like, no, I don't really do motorcycles or anything like that. And he's like, and the guy explained to Sean, Harley is such a impact on that town that
Oh, yeah.
everybody in that town loves Harley Davidson.
Well, you probably wouldn't have a job. Nobody would be there.
Nobody, yeah,
Well,
nobody be there.
Correct. There's other industry
Yeah.
there too, though. But it's just, like, how did the locals treat you?
So as soon as we walked in, of course I've been to a lot of different cities, and immediately my accent gets pointed out because they're like, "Oh,
Yeah,
you're from
same,
the South. You
same.
sound like cornbread."
Yep.
But there was none of that up there. But even the people at the front desk, as soon as we checked into the hotel, they saw our bags and our jackets, and they're immediately like, "Oh, you're here for the anniversary," and we're like, "No, we're here on business. Wish we were." But
shame you couldn't stay longer.
Because that hotel is the hotel that all of the techs go to whenever they have to do their classes, and everybody who has to stay at Harley for Harley is at that hotel. So she was like, "You guys are my favorite people to check in. You're always so nice. They're the coolest people we had ever met." Like, she loved being there because of the Harley crowd. She pointed out my big old belt buckle that I wear every single day, and she's like, "Oh, I love your belt buckle and the outfit change." They would hype you up when you came down from your hotel room, like walking out. They're like, "The hair, the outfit." Like, it was really nice.
Nice.
So that's why that confidence was right at 100 when
it
we
was
left
going.
the hotel.
And then, like, even our Uber driver, he spoke to us about his motorcycles. He picked us up from House of Harley, and he was talking about his bikes and the anniversary and how many people were about to be up there and how the whole city was excited for it, because it was like, "Oh, we're going to have so many people here, and it's going to be so huge, and it's going to be so much fun." And everybody was just looking forward to it, because at some point in their life, someone they knew had owned a Harley. They had grown up hearing about it, they were surrounded by it, and they embraced it, and they loved it. So it was great.
So, you mentioned House of Harley. For people listening to this that might not know House of Harley, I don't know if anyone knows House of Harley. House of Harley is a Harley Davidson dealership.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's Milwaukee's dealership.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So there's the museum.
That would make sense.
And then there's the dealership. So
But it is a dealership. Like,
you can buy a bike. It's
you can
just like
walk
our
in there. It's
dealership.
just like White Lightning. You can walk in there, buy a bike, buy clothes. It's a dealership. It's just the name of
it. Cheaper because they don't have to ship them?
I asked
somebody's got to get it over there.
because
It's not attached to the museum. It's not on museum property.
It's
either.
not on museum property.
Oh.
It's so close to the Juneau Avenue area, closer than the museum. But they're all kind of close to each other, I guess.
They just ride them over there to put them on the showroom?
That would be cool.
They
But
PDI them at the factory for it.
when we did get there, there was, I thought we had a lot of bikes. House of Harley has a lot of
I'm sure.
motorcycles. They had over 250 new units, and
Wow.
just sitting out there. And I'm looking down these rows, and I'm like, these are all.
Now, I wonder how much of that, though, was
How
in
many people do you
preparation.
try to sell
So we
those
asked
to?
them that. We asked them that. I was like, I think Sean asked. He said, "Is this normal inventory for you, or did they ship this out for the event?" And he was like, "No, this is pretty much normal inventory for us." And
Well, I was going to say,
"Geez."
because like Daytona Harley,
Yep.
Yeah.
they get a bunch of new bikes right before Daytona.
Yeah.
Like, they'll literally, like how we get tractor trailers, and it's like, "Oh, we got 18 bikes in the truck," which means we got the whole truck. If we get 18 bikes, our inventory is down. But like Daytona, like the week before their rally, they'll get like 4 trucks, and every bike on that truck is theirs to sell. And it's the same thing. They did the same thing up at Sturgis. They did the same thing for Laconia. That's just kind of what they do. They know it's, although we as a dealer are trying to sell bikes, Harley as a manufacturer is trying to sell motorcycles. So
They know where the people are going to be.
yeah, so it was
Makes
like
sense.
when the Pan America first got released, everybody's sitting there going, you got people coming back to the dealership going, "I rode the Pan America. They had it for demo down in Daytona. Why don't y'all have it here yet?" Because they sent every last one of them they had to Daytona.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a House of Harley. They were all really nice. They all thought I was there to work, so I went straight from the competition to House of Harley, just so I could get some T-shirts and some poker chips, as you do. And
Did you have on your shop shirt?
I did have on my shop shirt, and
Okay.
so because I actually had on this exact same outfit, but it is what it is. And
If you never told anybody, nobody'd know.
It's fine.
Fair.
It's,
but it's
This
fine.
is not video. No one can
It's
see
been
you.
it's been watched since then, just for everybody. I don't know. Anyway, but we went, and they all assumed that I was there to work. They were like, "You're here to work the event," and I was like, "No, I wish. I didn't know that was an option, Sean." And he was like, no, I can totally send you up here to work, but we're short-staffed, so no. And,
We need you.
yeah, he was like, as soon as we can get more salespeople on the floor so that I can afford to take you off the floor for a week at a time, I'll let you go to this stuff, but not right now.
Yeah, because we do that with Dave now.
Yeah, I would love to do what Dave
We
does.
send Dave to Black Hills Harley Davidson. He works for 3 weeks at Black Hills Harley Davidson in Sturgis.
Yeah, like they pay you while you're there. It's awesome. I would love to do that.
But you got to use your own personal vacation time to go do it.
I mean, I'm fine with that.
So
What's vacation?
What's vacation?
What's vacation?
I was taking unpaid vacation for the first year I worked with Harley.
But anyways, so, the first day you went to the museum, y'all went to dinner, you ran into Jesse at the bar.
I passed out, actually. First day, jet lag, and that I stayed up all night because I was just trying to get to the airport. That hit me at about 7 p.m. I'm not going to lie to you. So we went to the museum, ate, went back to the hotel room, decompressed a little bit, and then Sean was like, want to go check out the market? And I was like, sure. So I don't know if you guys have ever know about the Pike's Place Market in Seattle, but Milwaukee has a similar style market. It's just indoors, but it's a bunch of little vendors, and they had a little fish market that we went and ate dinner at. But we ate dinner at 5:30, which really bothered Sean, because only old people eat dinner at 5:30, evidently.
He is old people.
Yeah, but it was 6:30
But it was 6:30
our
our time, so it was excusable. And I was like, I'm literally trying to hold my eyes open right now. Can we just eat dinner and go?
Look, I gotta watch Jeopardy back in the hotel room. We're gonna eat now.
So
Sorry, Wheel of Fortune.
we ate dinner.
Judge
I know,
Wapner.
Marcus.
Judge Wapner comes on at 4.
It was delicious. And then we went back to the hotel room, and I was like, I'm going to study for a little bit and then go to bed. I woke up, face stuck to the binder that I was studying from. I fell asleep like 7:30. It was 1 a.m. and I was like unsticking the pages from my face. I was like, all right, I'm going to bed. And then woke up again around 4 and completely forgot where I was. Like, I woke up in that hotel room in a tizzy. I was like, where am I? Am I late? I woke up for text that Sean had sent me. He was like, did you set your alarm? Are you good? Did you fall asleep? And I'm like, I did fall asleep. My alarms are set. Don't worry, I'm going to be there. And then that brings us to the morning of competition. So, which I think I already covered in the...
A little bit.
A little bit. How far did we get into that?
So just like in a summarized rundown, like what was the competition that you were actually doing when you were up there? Obviously, we talked about the interview type.
Like what did you do in the competition?
Yes.
So the competition was taking the top 10 in the nation, putting them head to head, but instead of a video, it's in person.
So did they give you the parameters of what you were to talk about before, just like they did with the video stuff?
A little bit different.
Okay.
So with the finals,
The difference is Terry was standing there, and Terry's name was
Terry
Yogi.
didn't do much.
Terry didn't do much.
Terry didn't do much at all. Terry didn't even speak. So,
Damn it, Terry.
that's why it took him so long to buy a motorcycle.
He had to put it in reverse. It took him too long to put it in reverse.
You just wanted to make sure Terry understood what was happening.
Yeah, I just needed Terry to be thorough, as I would with any of my customers. My delivery, I sold a Pan America today, and my delivery was probably 20 minutes. So,
That's okay.
But you sold it.
I did.
That's right.
I took in CVO. So,
Well, that's the thing. I mean, selling a Pan America every 20 minutes. It's not necessarily a bad thing.
I do like selling Pan Am.
But it should have been 12.
So, I know they were just flabbergasted by your knowledge. They had mentioned about how they were learning stuff about Pan America from what you were telling them.
Adele, who's very high up in the company, she came downstairs directly.
She is. You have
it's
number
EDE.
one. You have number one
Yeah.
with the company. Then you got number 2, which I guess is Bill.
Yes, it's
Johan,
Johan, and then
Bill,
and then Adele.
and then Adele.
Oh, okay.
So she's literally like any Harley official page. She's up there. But she came down after my presentation.
She's impotent.
And she's impotent. But she came down after my presentation, and she was like, she looked at Sean, and they introduced, talked a little bit, and she was like, I just sat through a masterclass of the Pan America. And I was like,
Well, I think
What did I mess up?
I think the interesting thing. So, like, obviously she had to know who you were because she was there for the competition
Yes.
stuff. So she knew everybody that was competing. She had seen their face and seen the videos and stuff like that. But she also knew who Sean was.
She was very impressed with the things that we are doing to promote the Pan America at our dealership. So Dirtways, Dirt Days, our incredible parts department that has not only Harley Davidson gear, but also aftermarket gear for the Pan America. How much we promote our packages and how we already have everything to build your package, and we're very lucky where we're at. And I feel very lucky.
And customizing them too, so people can see options and stuff like that.
I love our custom Pan Ams. We do good by those.
Yes.
That red one looks really good.
But I was.
Did you see the tan one when you were there?
I did see that. Oh, with the kind of root beer.
It's root beer.
Is it root beer?
The color's root beer.
Oh man, that looks really good. I don't need 9 motorcycles because then I'll have to buy another one to make it 10 to make it even.
Got like
number.
an even.
And I'm at full capacity until you get your garage.
We need to paint one.
Right?
blue.
Yeah.
You'll have the garage soon.
You give me a teal Pan America.
Oh, I would take that from
a teal and black Pan America.
Me and Sean
I would take that
talked
from you,
about
just
this,
saying.
about taking a vintage style tank, like something that they did in the 30s or the 60s or whatever, and
do that
putting it
paint
on
job.
Pan Am.
So,
Oh.
talking about that,
Oh.
there's a guy, I'm not sure where he's at. He's on Instagram, and I don't remember his name. If he listens to us, that would be stupid freaking cool. He took a new Lowrider ST, okay, painted it a blue color that they did on FXRs, did the FXR badging on the gas tank, and chromed out the engine.
That's it.
Oh.
So it looks like a new FXR.
That's it.
Interesting.
I need to see this.
Yeah,
That sounds cool.
it's
That's right up
super-
my alley. Right
It's
there.
super, super cool. So anyway, so you know,
So the competition.
Competition. Day of, we've gotten our coffee, we've had our talks, and we've gone through the rules, and I go last. So my presentation, you know.
Did you guys draw straws for that, or?
They actually, so
they
yeah,
went by age.
back to the.
Well, you're 25 years younger than the next year.
Actually, no.
The other
Angel
Sedano from Glendale Harley Davidson was 23.
Oh wow!
So me and him had a mutual connection. Teresa, our service manager, she hired him to be in sales back when she worked in California.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of bonded over that. Him and Liam, who was also from Glendale, we all hijacked some scooters downtown and explored Milwaukee. But we'll
Yeah.
get to that later.
Heck yeah.
she knows what birds are now, and I don't mean the things that fly. I mean the bird scooters.
Oh, they were so fun. Anyway, I go last, so I go at 1 p.m. How Harley released this is that they wanted it to be as fair as possible so that we would all have equal amount of studying time.
Yeah.
So we found out about a week before our competition the parameters and what we were supposed to be doing, which was a delivery.
Yeah.
Terry has bought the Pan America. You need to deliver the motorcycle.
Okay.
And so we all had equal amount of preparation time, and then they put all of our names in the hard bags that go on the Pan America, shook it around, and then
Okay, so it was a
So
random
it was
draw.
random
You
draw.
you just got unfortunately to go last.
I
Yeah.
was kind of fortunately, though, actually, I did get to do some pretty cool stuff that morning, and it made me not have to present at 9 a.m.
Oh,
that was
yeah.
really
Oh,
nice.
yeah, no.
Forget that.
Yeah, forget that part.
But,
Yeah.
but that's good. Though. So the context of the
The final.
speech was
delivery.
a delivery of
Okay.
a bike.
Yeah.
So did they give you any, hey, are you dropping it off at his house? And
So they were very specific about it. They were like, he has chosen to finance. You've already done your PDI and delivery checklist. Your only job is to go through a final walk around with Terry, tell him what this bike does, get him ready for the road, and then send him on his merry way.
Yeah.
okay.
And it was, I think the thing that I found most challenging about that is with most of the bikes I sell, I'm spending 3-4 hours with these people and their families. I'm getting to know them. I get to build rapport with them. And Terry's been a camera for the past 3 months. And now Terry finally has a face. But Terry
Wait, you
doesn't.
didn't have anybody recording any of the videos for you? You didn't
Well,
have Marcus?
Marcus helped. Chelsea helped. Ryan was even
Okay.
in one before we really understood the
Terry's
rules.
face was Ryan
Was
for
Ryan.
video 1.
Yeah.
Did you just like take a picture and like put a cutout over the camera?
He came in and helped out with a bit of B-roll because the rules were kind of confusing.
So that we knew that they wanted FPV, but they didn't really state exactly how they wanted that done.
Got it.
So we thought because there was quote unquote dialogue for Terry in the first one. Like it was literally like Terry said da 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 da. So it was
respond to that.
So you had
respond
Ryan
to
say
that.
Terry's line.
So literally Ryan is like this filming Scottie, but saying
hands,
what
you know?
Terry was saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then we figured out that Ryan didn't have to be in the middle, and it was just up to me.
Got it.
Yeah.
But going back to your actual like competitive portion of this.
But I think the way we
delivering
did video one though,
That was sick.
if you put them all together,
It works.
it works very good because literally the start of the very first video is Terry
Hey,
walking in the door, and they had already, the lead had already been put in. She had already called, so this was the first meet, and it literally says on the thing that this is their first meeting. So you have Terry coming up, and the video shows Ryan walk in the door and walking over to Scottie, and then it clips over to first person point of view, and it's like, she goes, "Are you Terry?" And he's like, "Hey, yeah." And they shake hands, and then it goes into the spiel.
Awesome.
So it worked really good. And of course, in that video too, you take Terry on a test ride, and it shows the video is showing from like a third person point of view for 5 seconds, her kind of going through that quick rundown about, this is where you start it. This is the blinker control. This is your mode control.
Okay.
Go. So I think it was that the way we did the first one was a great intro of who Terry was.
I think it was good.
And that first
It was fun.
meeting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't go until the evening. So we had gone over everything, and now it's kind of up to us to shoot the shit until we get called to go up there. Because they're telling you, they're like, we're going to take you into this elevator. You're going to go up to the 6th floor. That's where you present at. After you present, you're going to be separated from the people that have not yet presented. And after all of you have gone, we'll take probably about 30 minutes to an hour to tally the results. And we'll go from there. It's like, okay. So I had all day to kill. I got to talk to a lot of people, got to make a lot of friends. I hadn't been there but probably 2 hours, and one of the Harley-Davidson University, it was kind of an event coordinator for the day, he walks up to me and he's like, "Scottie, you go last. Do you want to go on this test ride?" And I was like, what?
Like, what?
Where are we going? And
What did you get to test ride?
So they had options. I wasn't as comfortable on the Pan Am. I'm comfortable on the Pan Am here, but I'm not comfortable on the motor company's Pan Am in a city that I've never been to before.
Makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense.
And
Fair.
also, I don't do a lot of freeway riding, and I'm not ashamed to say that. The freeway scares me. People are going way too fast. And
It's Marcus.
Yeah,
Marcus is the people that go way too fast.
yeah, and I wasn't really about that. And so, but I tell him, I'm like, where are we going to be going? And he's like, yeah, it's a little bit of highway, a little bit of back road, lots of curvy stuff. And I'm like, that sounds terrifying. No better time than the present. All right, let's go. So they get me suited up, and we go downstairs, and they're scanning all of our licenses. And mine is the only vertical license because I'm not 21.
Right, yeah.
So they're like, oh, she's a baby. She's a baby. That's when it really sunk in for them how young I was, because my license is vertical. And we got to go outside. They had Pan Americas and a Nightster and a Heritage. So the other woman that was also in the competition with me was Hannah, and she was from Wilkins, Harley-Davidson. And she took the Heritage, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to play it safe. I don't know where I'm at. I'm going to get on the Nightster.
Yeah.
I know how the Pan Am rides. I've ridden one before, but I'm just going to... I killed it 3 times during that test ride. I will never get used to the Rev Max engine and the clutch. We're getting better at
Look,
it.
I've done the same thing. I killed the Sportster S.
You have to give
In
it some.
the
You got to give it
driveway.
some throttle.
You do have to give it some throttle. But it was fun. It was a good way to see the city. I learned that Milwaukee roads are similar to Chattanooga roads.
Terrible.
Terrible?
They're not that great.
Yeah.
Got on the freeway. I'm calling my dad afterwards. I'm like, Dad, I just did a freeway ride on a motorcycle that belongs to the motor company. And he's like, okay. Cool.
Do you need me to send help?
You need help.
He was like, sentence made me nervous for you, but
I'll send the helicopter.
I'll send the helicopters.
and then we got back and they had the CVOs pulled out.
Oh.
And they were like, we're gonna let you guys test ride the CVOs. They asked me if I wanted to.
Oh.
I was like, I've never been on a bagger, even at home.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll move them around, I'll stand them up. I said, now out on the road, I said, I'm just not comfortable yet. I haven't gotten there yet. I'm not going to make my bagger debut in a city I'm not familiar with on a CVO.
That would have been
on a motor company CV.
that would have been a great bagger debut. Though.
So like Sean said, Sean was like, you should have. I mean, it doesn't belong to us either. So
Sean's like,
good
we're
there.
finished.
She's gonna make her bagger debut on the worst bagger to make a bagger debut on.
Yours?
Yours?
I'm gonna put her on
I
mine.
don't think I can even touch the ground on you.
If I can, you can.
Oh,
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
be good.
It's
Ride
not
it
a
like
high
you did the
CV.
Pan America.
Okay.
1 foot it.
Okay. That'll be fun. But I don't know. I don't like riding other people's bikes because I'm like, look, if something happens to this, how bad are you going to yell at me? Because
That's why people have insurance.
I'm not.
That's
gonna
that's
yell
why
at
you
you.
ride
You're gonna
his
cover
because-
the deductible, but I'm not gonna yell at you.
how much is your deductible?
Might not be anything right now.
Oh, sweet. Okay, yeah, totally.
I've got like the vanishing deductible thing.
Hell yeah.
There you go.
So
But yeah, I was like, I'm good, but I did get to, listen to them run. I got to hear the other contestants talk about their experience on these bikes and how they felt. I was very, very impressed with the new CVO.
it's probably a good thing that I wasn't there to ride the CVO because I would have
put
blown
through
it
the ringer.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have blown it up.
I was very, very impressed. with that
We would
CVO.
find out
I
what
would
that
have been
121 VVT would do.
Yeah, I would have been asking 10,000 questions exactly about. I want to know exactly how the VVT works, people.
Yeah.
Tell me, how does the VVT work?
Can we
But-
pull this engine out? I want to tell you.
But
I'll take it apart.
was it Monday you saw the CVOs when you weren't supposed
I
to?
did. So me and Sean they had a new product showcase area, and of course, the museum at the time that me and Sean went, they're trying to set up for homecoming. So
Oh, yeah.
there's construction workers everywhere. There's people setting up tents. There's people running around. There's trucks. They are on double time trying to set up for this event. And there was a room, and it was like new product showcase. And Sean was like, "Let's go in there."
Let's go in
But
there.
there's people building stuff in there, and I'm like, maybe we're not supposed to be in here. And
Sounds like, what are they going to do to me?
but we go in and it's like,
Fire me?
and we see a bunch of anniversary models. I'm like, nothing we haven't seen before. And we look in the back, and there's like 10 Street Glide, Road Glide, Whiskey Neat. I mean, both code. They
Nice.
had everything in there, and all their glory just sitting there. And
Yeah,
me and
because
Sean
none of the
immediately.
dealerships have seen any of those bikes yet.
They have now.
Oh, have they?
They-
Starting yesterday, they started
Okay.
arriving at
Okay.
dealers.
Yeah. So, but me and Sean got to see them in person. So I'm taking a billion pictures. I'm sending it to my sales team.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, go out and prosper. Sell. Send these to anybody who's interested. I'm letting them know what I think, and we got to play with them a little bit, of course, before we were afraid of getting kicked out. So we were trying to make it short and sweet. And
I don't see Sean being
Check him
afraid of getting kicked out.
he was.
Yeah, no.
He was like, somebody's going to come in here and tell us that we have to leave. We should. All right, that's it.
No, just pick up a piece of scaffolding and be like, I'm working.
Give me
I'm
a
working.
I know
high
what you're
vis
talking
vest
about.
in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But it was fun. So I got to see those, and those were awesome. And I was very impressed. I was a little nervy at first whenever they posted pictures, but of course, things are so different whenever you see them in person.
Yeah.
So I was glad that I was able to do that. But I didn't ride one. But I did get a lot of experience from what other
Well, just
people
wait till one comes into the dealership.
Yeah,
And
Sean's
after
like,
after
"We
you
do
ride
that?"
Marcus's terrible motorcycle, you can ride a good motorcycle, and then one that's actually comfortable and set up.
The Street Glide that I was
Hey,
going to
did
make
they
my
have-
bagger debut on is Jace's because it's been wrecked like 4 times and he doesn't care about it. And he was like,
But I would be
"Well."
afraid for you to try. He's got stretched bags, like really stretched bags. so
Yeah,
I'd be
his
afraid
bars
for
are
you.
all the way up to the
Oh,
Yeah.
yes and no.
I don't think it's
No.
a great.
Yeah,
mine's a
don't-
good.
don't do
Mine's
that.
a good seating position. Like
It
you would be
is, yeah.
comfortable sitting on mine.
Because I'm
It might be
comfortable
a
sitting
little
on
bit
it,
tall
so.
for her.
She rode a Pan America.
No, I'm talking about
No,
the seating position, the
the
bars.
bars.
Oh no, she sits on.
I'm fine with
Oh,
it.
can you?
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
she's fine with us,
Yeah. We're the same size. So, I mean.
So, anyways, you go through the competition.
get back from the test ride. Okay, well the crazy part is I'm sitting at the table. I'm thinking that I have like another hour and a half to prepare for this because Sean had made it to Junior Avenue at that point. He was done with all of his meetings and panels for the morning, and he had joined me. and Laura, who is coordinating the whole event.
To interrupt real quick, not to dive too deep, I'm not answering any questions on this. Anybody that sends me messages, I'm not going to answer any questions on it because I don't know half the information. Sean is, I guess, now has some on an information team. I don't know what you want to call it.
I would say that the people who are behind the engineering and ideas of the Pan America have invited Sean to those panels and to be a voice for the people, I would say. What have you learned talking to the people who ride these every day? What do you think riding one every day?
So if you have questions or concerns, send them to Sean.
Well, he actually did have to sign an NDA.
Yeah,
so
he did
don't
have
ask
to sign
Sean.
an NDA.
Don't ask Sean.
But what it is, and Harley has done this for years, okay? They pick people from different dealer levels to help with stuff like that. According to, I guess, the way they talked in Milwaukee, I've always said we're up there on the level of some other dealers when it comes to Pan America, but apparently the way that they talk at Milwaukee is no, we're not. We're beyond what every other dealer is doing when it comes to Pan America. So they were like, hey, we want to get you, you have a strong passion for this motorcycle. We want to get you talking about this motorcycle. We want to know what your opinion, what's your feedback, because just like how Scottie's name kept popping up in all these groups about the Battle of the Bricks or Battle at the Bricks, Sean's name keeps popping up on a bunch of different pages when it comes to Pan America.
Yeah.
We need a long-term test Pan America for the podcast.
Yeah.
That dealership wouldn't provide that, but anybody that's listening that works in Wisconsin.
Hey.
Anyways, so Sean gets there.
So yeah, we're sitting at this table, and I'm thinking I have an hour and a half still to prepare, and Laura, who's running the event, comes up to the table, and she goes, hey, the judges have opted to just postpone lunch if you just want to go ahead and go now. And I'm just looking at her, mouth open, and I'm like, my heart is beating out of my chest. And Sean goes, I'm going to answer for her. Yeah, she'll go now. And I was like, why would you do that to me?
Sean's good at that, yeah.
But then I had no choice. She's like, okay, so you have about 25 minutes. And I was like, oh, okay. So now Sean's like, and they had told us beforehand, they're like, we do have a surprise for you. There is P&A on the Pan America. We're not telling you what P&A. You're going to have about 2 minutes to look over the bike and run with it.
Oh, Lord.
So I know my packages. We're good. I was good there. I wasn't worried about that. But he's running over things with me. We got the binder in front of us. He's like trying to get me in the zone. And they're like, all right, you're on.
Pay no attention to me over here.
So Sean has to send me out on my own. I don't get my security blanket. I don't get to bring a battle buddy. I have to go alone. So I get into the elevator. They take me up to the 6th floor. You walk out. Swear it was like 10 degrees colder up there. There's a giant curtain. And then there was the camera guy, and he was like, I'm going to mic you up. This is going to go on your collar. This is going to go in your pocket. He puts a mic on me. The other gentleman was like, I'm going to introduce you. You're going to be able to look over the bike. Start when you're ready. And I was like, okay. It's fine. No one else seemed to be freaking out as much as I was. Maybe it's because of my age. Maybe it's because they had done this before, and they weren't nervous about it at all. I was quaking in my boots, ladies and gentlemen. I was nervous.
Oh, yeah.
It felt like there was a lot of pressure on me at the moment. I just wanted to make everybody proud. But I was like, I'm just going to go in, do my best, and do my job.
Yep.
They open the curtain. I'm thinking there's going to be about 3-4 judges. No, there's a table of 10 people, and then about 5 more just hanging out in the back of the room. And I'm like, oh, every light is on me. They've got the Pan Am set up. I immediately noticed that it's the day trucker package. So I was like, all good there. And then I meet Terry. Terry was not allowed to say anything. Terry just kind of looks at you and nods and smiles. And then if you go, yeah, Terry, come over here and look at this, he'll just kind of move with you. You have a guy with a camera who's following you around the bike the whole time. And, oh my goodness. I guess the adrenaline was pumping so fast that I thought, everything was just moving real quick. I walked out of there thinking, I didn't present for longer than 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Right.
For sure. But it was quite a bit longer than that. But it was fun. I made the judges laugh, and I was really proud of myself for that, like making people laugh. I feel like if I can make people laugh, I've done enough. So Adele even commended me on, she was like, you taught me a new phrase. which is a phrase that I say to every single one of my customers upon delivery. It's the last thing that they hear me say, and it is, we do ask that you keep the rubber side down and the shiny side up. Welcome to the family. Every single customer. Adele got a good laugh out of that, and she was like, you taught me something new. I'd never heard that before. It made me laugh. So that was awesome. But did the presentation, went back downstairs. We waited around. They had the bikes from Sons of Anarchy there. They had the bikes from Captain America, Indiana Jones, the Mayans bikes.
The bike from Sons of Anarchy, I know it's kind of like, oh, they had some dinos on display. They had
the bikes.
The blue knucklehead or pinhead knucklehead on display that Jax rides. That was his dad's bike that he rides, that he wrecks at the end.
I love that bike.
Along with a picture of Jax riding the motorcycle.
And they did let us sit on them. That was fun.
Nice.
So, my ass has been where Jax Teller's has been.
Nice.
And
nice.
That was a good little moment for me, you know?
Right?
And then they took us all back up to the sixth. Well, I guess I should say, before we go back down, directly after your presentation, they have you do a post interview, I guess. They take you to the floor below. They show you a life-sized replica of the Lego Harley-Davidson Fat Boy. So instead of it being little, it's over 200,000 pieces.
That's awesome.
It's jeez. And they're like, thought you would find that cool. And I'm like, that's sick. And then they kind of just bring you off to the side. There's a single gentleman there. You get to kind of decompress. He asks you questions. How did you get into this competition? What made you do the competition? And then the final question is what really stuck out to me. I do hope that they post these interviews, but the final question is what stuck out to me, because I guess a lot of people were hating on Harley and the motor company because they made this Battle of the Bricks experience about the Pan America, and they were like, why? Why do it about the Pan Am when, you know, we have all these other bikes that we've been manufacturing for so much longer? And my answer to that interviewer was, I think the Pan Am is the bike that we needed to do it on. I think the struggle that dealerships are currently having is that no one knows how to sell the Pan America to your leather-wearing, tassel-having, chain on the hip Harley rider. How do you market that to them? And I was like, I think the only issue that we're trying to overcome right now is every guy that I've talked to, every couple, they just don't know what it is. It's really our job just to educate them, and the Battle of the Bricks Pan America experience allowed us all to better our knowledge of the bikes so that we can go forth and prosper.
Well, and I would say with that, every dealer that was represented there in Milwaukee for the Battle of the Bricks, or Battle at the Bricks, I keep wanting to say of the Bricks, Battle at the Bricks, guarantee their Pan America sales increase, because they have someone that when someone comes in and goes, I want to know about Pan America, it's like,
they can pull.
Here you go.
Because that's what I've become at White Lightning, is anytime anybody's like, what's this bike? They're like, Scottie.
Yeah.
This is our Pan America lady right here.
Yeah, well, we started doing the videos at the shop, and it was like, okay, we're going to do the Pan America. Scottie, go talk about the Pan America.
Yeah. Because I'd already liked talking about it beforehand. I grew up with a lot of dirt bike background, so that to me was really cool. And also, I wanted to work at Harley because there's a part of me that knows my generation is not as interested, and I do it because I'm like, I want you guys to love these bikes as much as I love these bikes.
Yeah.
I have customers ask me all the time, how much are you, family even, why do you work all the time? Because, I work 7 days a week most of the time. Sometimes I take my off days, sometimes I don't. And why do you work all the time? How much money are you making? Da-da-da. I'm like, it's not about any of that. I do this job because I know what these motorcycles did for me. I know what the feeling that they give me and the joy that they bring me, and the times that these super dangerous machines have saved my life. And if I can share that with someone, if I can get them involved in it, if I can educate them on it, if I can even just, they're coming in to buy a t-shirt, if I can just talk to them and make them feel welcome and give them that experience with the brand, that's worth more than any paycheck that they can cut me.
Absolutely.
And to get somebody on that and within the community, that's the joy that I see on people's faces when they came in. no shot I'm getting approved, no way I'm getting a Harley, and they are just over the moon when they get to leave on a motorcycle. And that's what makes me do the job.
Yep.
And then this experience going to Milwaukee, it made me want to work harder because it just opened there's so much to do. There's so much potential. There's so many people
there's
you
so
can
much more
meet,
out
the
there.
networking,
Yeah.
and there's so much. And that was the big thing that Sean told me. He was like, these people that you're competing with now could be the managers that you're calling in 5-10 years to be like, hey man, I need a dealer trade. But they're your homies, and you've already created a relationship with them, and you have passed together, and you know, just things like that.
But it could be you that they're calling.
That too.
That too, yeah.
And I don't mean that as in, hey, they might be calling you to go, I need a dealer trade. They might be calling you to go as
I need some help.
as their sales manager. Or not as their sales manager, but as you could be Danny Dahl. You could be their district manager.
That's what, and people have asked me.
You're at an age where, with your passion for the brand, you could do anything with Harley Davidson that you wanted to do.
And that's exciting. That's the exciting part, is that I started so young. So I started at White Lightning Harley in November of 2021. I graduated from high school in May of 2021. So
Yeah.
when people in high school, they were like, what do you want to do? I was like, well, my parents want me to go to college. If you ask me what I want to do, I want to go work on Harleys. That was my first plan, because some of my favorite memories are wrenching in the front yard with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what brought me joy. I tried so many other hobbies and things to do, and nothing lit the fire and kept the fire going like Harley Davidson. And so I was like, this is what I want to do with my life. And because if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. My dad told me that, and I was like, so what do I love? I love this. And so when I got hired there, I was over the moon. I've turned 19 at that dealership. I've turned 20 at that dealership. I'll turn 21 this year at that dealership. And
Yes, she will. Trust me.
Yep.
We'll make
It'll
sure
be a big
everyone
party.
knows.
Yep. Party.
But I'm very grateful and thankful that I'm not only able to pursue what has been a dream of mine for so long, but to be in a dealership where I don't just go into work every day. I have a family there. I have friends there. If I'm ever in trouble, the people that I would call are not going to be the people that, you know, are around me outside of work. I'm probably going to call somebody that I work with.
Yeah.
If I'm stuck somewhere, or if I'm in trouble, who's going to be able to handle it, and who's going to help me and help me with quickness? And that's giving me the platform and the opportunity to not only learn and make mistakes, but to grow in the dealership. Sean knows what I want to do, and I think a lot of people in the dealership know what my dreams are and where I want to go, and the fact that I'm at a place and at a company that is fully endorsing that is something I'm very, very thankful for.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful for my Harley family, and that they have given me a platform to go above and beyond and give me that inch so that I can take it a mile. And like believing in me, because there's things that I have ideas for, and I'm like, this is crazy, and they're like, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, you have that drive to go further, and that's something that's needed, to be honest.
I want to, that's what I'm excited for, and that's what I stay excited for, is seeing the motor company produce new things every year with the Pan America, and now the new CVOs and the Sportster S and the Nightster. And a lot of people are kind of scared because they're like, oh, they're not making the 883 anymore. It's out with the old and in with the new. But that's so exciting. In order for a company to prosper, they have to adapt and change.
Yeah.
And in order for Harley to market to my generation and the newer generation and people who are riding motorcycles, they're going to have to make changes. And I actually had a customer who I stayed on the phone with for probably about 30 minutes the day after I got back from Milwaukee, because Possum had answered the phone, and he was asking about the CVO, and I'm the only one that had seen them at that point in person. So I was able to talk with him, and he was like, so what do you think? And I was like, well, I think it's exciting. I was like, it's a beautiful motorcycle. I said, and it's new, and that's the best part about it. And he was very nervous about the VVT and the changes that they had made. And I was like, well, of course it's going to be different. I said, but it's not different in a way where it's like, this isn't a Harley. It's different in a way that it's like, this is the new Harley Davidson. To see that they are changing and adapting, it's like, yes, it rides different, but it rides smoother. It's more modern. It's better. And some people are going to be more excited about that than others. But I just like seeing the company grow and adapt.
You going to be the next Johan?
I don't know. At this point, from what it sounds like, that's a possibility.
I mean, that's the thing about it, Scottie. You have a passion for it that one that works in the motorcycle industry, period, could only dream to have a passion for whatever brand it may be that they deal with. I'm fortunate enough that your passion is for the brand that we both work for and the company that we both work for. So, you know, I guess that the biggest thing about it is, like, me and everybody at the dealership is so... I told Scottie earlier, I was like, I won't get emotional.
Don't cry.
No, we are so proud of you, Scottie. Because, you know, I remember when you came in there and you were a Motor Clothes employee and you're talking about it and you're like, I want to go to sales. And Sean was like, are you sure about this? And you're like, I want to sell motorcycles. And he's like, if it doesn't work, you're not going backwards. And it's worked. You've pushed. You know, and just like sales, you've had up months and you've had down months, but no matter what, you keep pushing through because you love it. You love the brand. You push the brand because you understand it's so much more than just a motorcycle brand.
It's the passion behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I talked to the gentleman who runs the DOC program after we had gotten done with the presentations, and he was very impressed with what I had done up there, just because of my age and how long I'd, I guess like the lack of how long I've been in a dealership. And for me to achieve getting to go to the final 10 and to do something like that at my age, because I talked with a couple people and they're like, well, they know what they're talking about because either they grew up with it or they've been doing it for 15 years or they, and they know what they know based on experience, and you know what you know because you've just poured everything you got into it. And that's, I love it.
You know what? You shouldn't be modest about what you've done or what you've accomplished because you genuinely have, you've got the same experience, like you were saying, of people that have worked in the industry for 20 years, 10, 15, 20 years, and you're doing the exact same thing, if not better, than they are. And this is something that me and Marcus and Heather have talked about on the podcast before, talking about the younger generation. You are the younger generation from us. You know, you're 12 years younger than me.
You're almost 20 years younger than me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he's 65. So,
but I'm not 75.
Today
so
he's
I normally
65.
yeah, he's been a young man today, so I'll give him 65. But, you having this passion for motorcycles in general, and then Harley Davidson, which everybody views as the old man's brand. You know, it is, you look at the age, it's older. Being 20, having that same passion, it's something that doesn't get seen very often.
That's what that gentleman had mentioned to me down after, we'd all decompressed, we were back at the hotel, and he was like...
I'm back into 75.
No, he told me, he was like, you are what we want to see at the motor companies, that energy coming for, just wanting to spread the word, just show everybody what we are about. And I was telling him about how a lot of the times when I talk about Harley Davidson, I refer to it as we. And people are like, we, what are you talking, you're not the motor company. And I'm like, yeah, but we are. I'm like, if I'm at White Lightning and I'm selling somebody a Pan America, I'm like, Harley Davidson, we had to do our research when it came to producing this motorcycle and putting it out into an industry that had been growing and thriving for years.
Yeah.
They had to put themselves out there, and they had to make it better. Mm-hmm. They had to make it, something that could hold a place next to these people that have been, and they did. Mm-hmm. And I was super proud of the product that they had produced. But Harley wouldn't be Harley without the people at the motor company, the people who buy and ride these bikes, the people who are in motor clothes and parts and service, and the people that take the classes to get the master certified techs, and the people who put together the university videos. It's all cogs in one big family machine. And I think that, and that's something that we can be proud of, that we get to represent. And he was like, no, I agree. I agree that that's something that we strive to have, the mentality that it's a group effort.
So, as far as Harley Davidson as the motor company goes, you being a young individual, what would you like to see going into the future?
I want to
it's just your opinion. It's not a...
I think, as a female rider, I would love for Harley to dive into that rabbit hole.
Yes.
Of creating a bike that's for women. I know that all bikes can be for women, but most of the time, if a woman buys a Harley Davidson, they are going to have to modify it in some way to make it comfortable for them.
Yeah.
If they would just make like one bike that was for us vertically challenged individuals,
a short people,
that's like light and fun to learn on,
yeah.
which is essentially the Nightster. But like maybe I want a big bike that has that same vibe.
Exactly.
But a Nightster has more power than a new street line.
It does, which is very impressive. I've sold so many of those. They're so easy to sell too, because they're looking at 883s, and I'm like, I know you think that's great to learn on. Come over here. We got 3 different ride modes. This one even has Bluetooth.
Oh, Bluetooth.
Hey everybody, this is Sean at White Lightning Harley Davidson. I want to thank you for listening to the Daily Biker Podcast. You can reach the podcast on Facebook or Instagram at The Daily Biker, or you can email the podcast at thedailybiker@gmail.com. Be sure to keep an eye on White Lightning Harley Davidson social media pages for the most up-to-date information on all our events and where you can find the boys.